Evening. All right, diet break week for the girls on the Shaping Up. So it's a slightly different Q&A in that we haven't really got any cues
We
today,
haven't. We
but
do not.
but I do have a question. I've got a question. We've actually got two things we're going to discuss, but the first one I want to do is this is based on a conversation that I had in the gym today with a couple of clients and also just general members. And one of the things that I came out of it is like, what's their biggest struggle? So my question to you, Alice, is what do you think are the biggest struggles for people who are looking either, and it's the same, it's fat loss, fitness, health. What's kind of the biggest initial struggle, do you think? I have my own opinions. I'd just be
Yeah,
interested to see what
I
yours
think
are.
it all depends on the person as well, because there's lots of, I think there's so many different barriers, isn't there? I think the number one thing that people then is when they tend to drop off, that I think we notice a lot as coaches, is when the motivation goes. So I think they really struggle and feel like if they're not motivated, then you're like, well, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. There's this, there's that. And it's the learning and overcoming that barrier of not relying on motivation all the time, because it won't always be there. And it's building those strong habits. But I think the motivation is one massive thing. You hear a lot of people talk about time. We don't have enough time. And that can be a huge barrier for people, especially if you have a family and you're trying to fit in everyone else's life around yours. Finding the time for yourself can be a really massive barrier. And also the education and the knowledge around whatever goal it is they're trying to achieve, like where to start, I think can be such
Yeah.
a big barrier for people as well, like if they just don't know where to even begin. Which is why I think in the new year you see everyone like, right, we'll start to the gym, hammer out the gym sessions, and then maybe not change other things about the lifestyle, and then think, okay, we're not seeing any changes, like why is that? And sometimes it could be the education. So I'd say, yeah, motivation, time, education would be my top three,
Your
maybe.
three, I like that. Yeah, I mean, actually, they kind of go in with my. So I've seen this put out a couple of times where people go, weight loss is 80% nutrition,
Yeah,
20% exercise.
yeah,
And I know there's another coach that I follow, ESG, and she has a similar kind of viewpoint to me. So I actually think that weight loss, fitness, health is 90% mindset,
yeah,
8% your diet and your nutrition, and then 2% exercise and activity.
yeah,
You've got to have the mindset, and it ties in with what you're saying. So,
yeah, 100%.
having this idea of I haven't got enough time, or I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, or
Motivation.
motivation, or I'm not motivated enough. That is all down to mindset.
100%. Yeah,
You have to have that mindset in place, and it's difficult because a lot of people go, well, what is the right mindset? um and we've I've used the phrase, and I know you have as well, this all or nothing mindset, where you're on it or you're off it. You've got the mindset of I'm motivated, I'm on track, I'm doing it. I think the right mindset is this mindset of understanding that everything we do is to be healthy. It's long term. We've got to do this um, in moderation. It's got to be consistent and sustainable, and we have to have the mindset that this is something that we are going to have to do forever.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, yes, you can do short term fat loss plans if you've got a specific goal in mind. And I'm not going to knock. All right, maybe I am going to knock like 8 week plans, 12 week plans, or boot camps. It's not something that I would. I know we say we do an 8 week program, but
yeah,
that 8 week program is not an 8 weeks and that's it,
yeah,
off you go.
yeah,
Our 8 week program is initially we've got 8 weeks and we break it up into 8 week blocks, because 8 weeks you can focus on a goal. For 8 weeks you can focus on a set of workouts. For 8 weeks you can get your nutrition focused on for 8 weeks, and then we say, right, let's have a week's break. Let's practice some of the things that we've learned, some of those habits that we've learned for a week, without tracking, without having to have somebody hammer you. Try and practice it. didn't work the first time. Okay, let's get you back into an 8-week plan again, and we focus on those goals again. Let's build those habits up again. Maybe add a couple of new ones. Let's try different. We tweak the workouts so that we progress the workouts. Do that for 8 weeks, and then we have a diet break again. And then we say, right, let's try again. Let's practice those things. Oh, you've managed a little bit better. Great. Let's go again.
Yeah.
So we're not saying, right, you are 8 weeks off, you go, you sorted. It's
8 weeks transformed and ready to go.
no, we say 8 weeks to focus on something. Let's practice that for a week. All right, let's come back. Let's refocus ourselves. Let's reset, because it's normal. And one of the things that we need to understand is that, or everybody needs to understand, is that you are not going to be fixed in 8 weeks.
Yes.
For some people, they might have 30, 40 years of bad habits to unpick.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen in 8 weeks. So we work on it for 8 weeks, and then we practice those skills. Then we do another 8 weeks, practice those skills. So yes, our program is 8 weeks, but it's 8 weeks, and you can keep doing those 8 weeks for as long as you need the support, for as long as you need the advice and the accountability. And then when you're ready and you go, right, I think I'm ready to try it again on my own, off you go. Great. That's our job. That's what we're trying to get to, where you can go, right, I've done this. I know what I'm doing. You might not have achieved your goal just yet, but you could go, no, do you know what? I can do this on my own. And then off you go. And it's great. And it might be that you just need 8 weeks to kickstart you. It might be that you need 2 or 3 rotations. We're currently ready to set up the 3rd rotation of Shaping Up, which is the follow-up program. So that's the 4th time through, the 4th run through of this whole program. So and we've got people who've been with us since the start, and some of the progress has been fantastic. I know one of the girls, Carrie, put up her progress today on her socials. 3 dress sizes she's lost.
Wow.
Since in 3 dress sizes in 3 rotations, just about to start the 4th. And for her, it wasn't. I mean, she and that's the other thing as well. She's lost about a stone, and you think 3 dress sizes in a stone. So that goes to show that scale weight isn't the only thing.
Yeah.
But she also knows that she's still working towards these goals. She still wants that accountability. But yeah, I think the biggest barrier is mindset. And if we can get that mindset right, that's 90% of what you need. Everything else will start to fall in place. And it's something that I've said a few times today. That's the big thing. Forget the all or nothing. Get out of this all or nothing mindset. This on it off. The phrase really drives me mad, where people go, "Yeah, I'm back on it."
On what?
Yeah, if you are on or off something, it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is perfectly okay. So I'm not saying I eat like clean all the time and I'm smashing the gym 7 days a week all the time. And at the moment, I'm being a bit more relaxed. I'm allowing myself to eat. I mean, I've just said to you, I'm having a takeaway tonight. And it's not very often, but I'm allowing myself. I'm having a bit of a takeaway. We've got the Easter chocolate in the house. That is a killer.
See, I'm quite good. If that goes in the cupboard, then I won't be able. I won't touch it. I've still got Christmas chocolates in the house. I did get judged. My friends came around, but yeah, if it's hidden away, I'm fine. If it's out, I can see it. That's the problem. So yeah.
But with both of us, we know that there are going to be periods where we're a little bit more relaxed, and then periods where we might tighten things up again and reset, and that's fine. But that's not on it or off it.
No.
That is normal.
It's flexibility, isn't it? And I think that's what we try and push through the programs. It's having that flexibility. Like, you're not on a plan, you're not off a plan, you're not on the wagon, you're not off the wagon.
It's a lifestyle.
Everyone you meet is on a diet, whether that is seen as a healthy, good lifestyle diet or not. They're still on a diet, and it's understanding that yours needs to allow you the flexibility to enjoy the food you like, but still helping you reach your goals. And that's what we are trying to teach massively, is that flexibility to still enjoy the things you love.
Exactly. And if that flexibility means that you can have periods like Christmas, like Easter, where you can enjoy yourself a little bit more freely, and then you go back to you kind of more normal routine, you know, and maybe cut down a little bit on the snacks, and it's normal again for the weight to fluctuate across the year. And that is the key thing. And with that mindset, I think if you can master that, that is, and it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It is very hard, but with practice, with guidance, with people supporting you, then you can achieve that.
But I think
Absolutely.
that's the point you know that we're trying to make here, is that can't be built, that mindset cannot be built in 8 weeks.
No.
You know, I think we all understand that it is difficult, and to have that ongoing support and to have a program where you have that ongoing support, that accountability, and to help teach you you know, the habits that you need to build, that's what they're there for. And like I said, you cannot just do that in a cookie cutter 8-week plan.
No, and I think the more, like I say, they have their places. If you are trying to shift a load of weight ready for a holiday, that's fine. And if, as long as you understand that that weight loss is not going to be sustainable,
Yeah.
because that, you know, if you do an 8-12 week boot camp where they slash your calories down to 1400 calories, 1200 calories, and then, you know, yeah, great, you've lost your weight, fantastic. You'll go on holiday, you will eat more than 1200 calories because
100%.
you've gone on holiday, and the weight is going to come back on, because fast weight loss is not fat loss, it's water loss.
Yeah.
And as soon as you eat, goes on again. So
yeah.
Right, the next topic, we are talking about, oh, takeaways arrived.
Oh no, just save for another day. We're like, what?
No, I think with this one we can introduce it and then we can go through it again. One of the thing I want to kind of really kind of go through is first of all, and I think we'll touch on this in more detail another time, but
yeah,
the first thing I want to I think I want you to go through is with the menstrual cycle, and is, do we need to change training and diet and make allowances for the menstrual cycle?
Yeah, so I'm more than happy to take this one. So I think the reason this is such a massive thing at the moment is there's such a huge movement and hype on social media at the moment about like training through your cycle, and how tracking your cycle, you can understand all these different things and how you need to adapt to your training plans depending on where you are in your cycle. But not a lot of it is based on factual evidence, and I think that's the biggest problem with it. And it's one of those topics that does get quite controversial because people tend to sit in very different camps on how this is. But you will notice, depending on where you are in your cycle, like I said, we'll give it a quick run through and then we'll go through in more detail another time, but your hormones do change throughout your cycle. So over that 28 days on average, which is a lot longer for most women, your hormone levels do fluctuate massively. And during certain phases, you will find yourself that you may feel a little bit more tired. That's when you get your cravings, when you are due on your period. You may feel like you can't push as hard, you know, your body temperature might be running higher, all of these different things. Latest studies, which are quite exciting, they're still in very early stages of studies, but what the latest ones are actually showing is that our strength doesn't actually change during our cycle. So we can lift just as heavy wherever we are in our cycle. But what changes is our mood, our hunger levels, you know, like how we're feeling in ourselves. Like if you are experiencing horrific stomach cramps, you're probably not going to want to go and lift your heaviest at the gym. You know, if you just want to sit on the sofa with a bar of chocolate, you don't want to go in the gym and lift your heaviest. You know, your body's telling you differently to how you're actually feeling. So I think it's very dependent on the individual, and I think it's something that you need to assess in yourself. Tracking your cycle can be massively helpful for so many different reasons, whether that's because you're looking at a fat loss goal, you can see how your scale weight changes through your cycle. It can help with your training. And I think you just need to have a little look, track your cycle, see how you're feeling at certain times. Like a lot of the apps, I know, like even on the Fitbit app, you can add in like your cycle and how you're feeling on every single day.
They do it on the new Apple Health thing as well, don't they?
Yeah. And you can start to really track daily, like what your symptoms are, what your mood is, how you're feeling. And if you notice that at week 3, you are always feeling a lot more tired, you know, a lot more lethargic, your hunger levels are higher and you're having more mood swings, then you may feel that your training will be affected by that. But just remember that when you are there, if you feel like, oh, I just can't do what I did last week, you probably can. It's just your brain's telling you differently because your hormones are being affected. But it's not necessarily that you can't do what you can do previously. It's just that you may feel that you can't. And I'm so worried that doesn't quite make sense. But it's, all those other things, like if your body temperature is naturally running a little bit higher, you're experiencing like hot flushes, for example, going for like a sprint session, you're already feeling warmer. So you're just going to feel even hotter, which is going to make it feel harder. So there's all of those little things that are going to make it a little bit more difficult with you. But you're not actually any weaker during those stages than you are in other periods of your cycle.
It's a perception, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's your perceived ability can vary, but
Yeah.
your actual physical ability
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And it's, you know, so you get loads of coaches, and I think the thing at the moment is there's lots of coaches, female coaches, who are selling plans that, you know, these plans are synced to your cycle, and it really frustrates me. It's another way of saying, oh, you've got this problem, and it's a problem that doesn't really exist in the way that they're stating that it exists, and then they're trying to sell you a solution that doesn't work to a problem that doesn't exist, and then charge you a fortune.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that, like, you know, you so you'll feel more tired, you'll be more irritable, you may have cravings, and then you might be less motivated to train, because if you think, oh well, all I've wanted to do all day is sit and eat chocolate, why would I want to go and train? Like your mindset changes, like we've just been saying. If you've got to have the right mindset and actually train through those phases of your cycle. I'm not going to stand here and say that is easy, because it absolutely is not. It is so difficult because you don't feel as well. You've got your stomach cramps. You're not feeling great. You know, you are going to definitely be feeling worse.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a case of you, like, think about how your mindset is. Even if you are feeling that little bit less motivated, be like, right, we know why this is, but actually, what can I do? And still do your absolute best is all you can. Really, you know, just keep going out there, keep training as you can. But if you do feel like you need to take a step back, you know, lighten up on your load, go for a shorter run, then absolutely do. But just understand and think, right, actually, am I just feeling this because I feel a little bit naff and I just don't want to do it, or is it because I genuinely don't think I can? And work around that. And it will differ for everyone, because everyone is affected differently by their hormones. You know, it's,
and I think as well, like you say, we're not trying to deny that these feelings aren't real, because they clearly are. You know, the feelings are really real, but I think if you accept that it's a perception, if you understand that it's a perception, it's actually quite freeing in that, you know, is this really my body, or is this really my body, or is it just the way I'm feeling at the moment? And you know, you can work to, so when I train clients, I work to RPE, relative perceived exertion. So you know, the kind of the effort they're putting in. So we'll say, you know, how many reps do you think you've got left? Oh, I've got none left. That's an RPE 10. You've given your all. You know, how many reps you got left? I've got 1. Okay, that's a 9, 2s and 8, and so on and so forth. So you can work to the RPE. So if you think, actually, no, I cannot lift, and I do have clients who, when it's that particular week or the third week of the cycle and they're feeling tired, they legitimately cannot lift the same weight. And that's normal. Some days you cannot lift it because you might not have slept very well the night before, or you might not have eaten much because your appetite's dropped. You know, your strength can be affected by that, but it's not directly impacted on by your hormone levels and the cycles.
Yeah, and and that's exactly it. Like some days you won't be able to lift. I had a session probably about a month ago now where I was trying to do my deadlifts and I dropped the weight and it just was not lifting. I was like, I know I can lift heavier than this, and I'm counting them on the bar. Like, is my maths not adding up? Like, if I added too much, like, why won't this bar move? And there was no logical reason for it. It was just that on that particular day, for whatever reason, I could not lift it. And I thought, maybe it's my form. Let's do like another form check. A week later, went back in, done.
Yeah.
You know, and it's some weeks, some days, like some sessions just aren't going to go to plan.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily because of your hormones. It could be, like you say, well, you've not slept enough, you've not eaten enough. Like, all of these things can impact it. But because there's such a hype at the moment around training on the menstrual cycle, it just seems to be the easy go to, oh, well, this is why. And actually take a step back and really think, like, is this really why or not? Because exercise can actually really help with a lot of these symptoms as well. It can be really beneficial. So try and still move, even if you think, do you know what, thought of going and doing that full gym session, lifting all that. No, I don't want to train legs today. Go and do something, because chances are it is actually going to ease your symptoms and make you feel that bit better. And then still have the chocolate afterwards, because you'll need it. And that's absolutely fine.
I think there's loads of stuff there, because that I think we'll leave that there, because there's stuff you can go on to where it can go on to like how that then changes when we hit perimenopause and your hormone levels change, and then it goes on to this whole idea of how, you know, how weight, fat loss and weight maintenance, weight gain, how that changes like this perception. And again, I've had a conversation with a member today who's effectively going into perimenopause, and it's you know, they're like, oh, it causes weight gain. It's like, no, it doesn't. And they were like, well, but it does. And I said, well, no, it doesn't. But you know, actually, but if you understand that, no, it doesn't, it's empowering, and that actually you can do something about it.
100%.
Does it make it harder to do something about it? Yes.
Absolutely, it does.
And you know, the menopause and the menstrual cycle and everything does make things. And we're not saying that it doesn't make things harder. It does, but it doesn't stop you. And that's the thing. And I think if you understand that, it's actually quite an empowering thought. It's like, look, this, yes, it's something that is a little barrier, but we can overcome it.
And we are here to help you to overcome that one. I think that's the one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So no, we can divulge into that one a little bit more.
Oh yeah, it definitely. So obviously we're going into the rotation 3. This little section really is just for the girls who are going into the next rotation. So the programs are all up. I am going to be sharing the programs with everybody over the weekend, and we've tweaked the check-in forms as well. So there's a few little changes in there which encourage them to ask questions. So we should be getting more questions for the Q&A sessions. And one other thing that we're going to be looking at is actually looking sort of reviewing goals, goal setting, reviewing goals, looking at how we can then break those down into weekly habits and having focus. So focusing on daily actions. And then one of the things that I'm doing with a few of the people on there, and they're all welcome to try this, is just 28 days of getting your head down and getting things done. And not worrying about weight, not worrying about the number on the scales, not worrying about the measurements and things. It's just going, right, we take the measurements at the start. We do 28 days of focusing on those daily actions, making sure that the nutrition's right, making sure that our exercise is done, making sure that our steps are hit, focusing on the healthy habits like sleep, hydration, mindfulness, getting that sort of stuff done for 28 days and then seeing what the results are afterwards. Because if you focus on those really small, and this is it with fat loss, it's not complicated. It's actually quite simple. That's not to say it's easy, but it's actually quite simple. It's focusing on eating to your nutrition goals. So getting your calories right, getting your protein right, getting your fiber in, making sure you're doing your strength training and your exercise, making sure you're getting your steps in, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, enough water. If you can do that, and you think, oh God, that's a lot, but actually that's just your day-to-day or weekly normal stuff. If you can focus on doing that and making time, and again, it comes back to this perception, oh, I don't have time. Doesn't take forever. You know, those workouts don't need to be an hour. They could be, our workouts take about 30 to 40 minutes. Done. Yeah. We've even given some of the clients little micro workouts to do, where you can say, right, just 10-minute workouts. Try and get those 10-minute workouts done, because something is better than nothing. If you focus on those daily actions for those 28 days and you get it done, then you will see results at the end of those 28 days.
Yeah.
And if you don't see results, then you've not done those daily actions. And that's where our weekly check-ins come in. So we'll be asking you to say, how many days out of 7 have you been sticking to your nutrition goals? How many days out of the 7 have you made sure you've drunk enough water? How many days out of 7 are you getting enough sleep? How many workouts of the ones that we've set you have you done? Because if you're not hitting sort of 80-90% of those, then the consistency isn't there. And that's one of the key messages that we're trying to get across. So yeah,
Yeah.
the workouts are up, the program's ready. I'll be sending those out over the weekend with a few little bits of guidance and a challenge for you for those first 28 days. And then also a little bit on values, having that daily check-in with yourself, journaling, I guess, but having that daily check-in with yourself to make sure that, you know, have you ticked the boxes today? If not,
Yeah.
why not? What do you need to do tomorrow to make sure you've ticked those boxes? And there's no judgment. It's not kind of saying, well, why haven't you done it? You should be doing it. It's understanding that some days you just can't. You know,
Yeah.
as we've just said, with that menstrual cycle, you know, if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day and you can't hit those goals, that's fine. What do you need to do tomorrow to make it easier for you to do that?
Yeah.
So having that daily check-in is something that's really, really good, really powerful. So yeah, I'm excited. 2
Yeah.
days,
Good
so
one.
3 days to go. And no, it'd be a
Yeah.
good one. I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
Can't wait.
Cool. All right, then, Alice, I'm going to go and have my takeaway
Yeah, you enjoy. I'm going to cook some dinner at 9:15 at night.
at 9:15 at night. Enjoy. I
Thank
will
you.
catch up with you soon. All right, then, guys, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.